What is going on, guys? I just want to go over the game from last night. Obviously, talking about it last night on the live stream. Obviously, didn't get to make a video, but so late at night. There's some good things to take away from this game. There's some bad things to take away from this as well. I think the Philadelphia Eagles, I think they had a pretty ugly game for probably 3 quarters. The Jake Elliott field goal was just really bad. Can't even hit a 20-something yard field goal. I want to bring in another kicker. What is he, the 6th or 7th highest paid kicker in the league? I don't even know at this point, but he's making too much money as a kicker that's not consistent, never consistent, has gotten worse. Another 2017 player that is just taking everything for granted, not playing well, and obviously is getting too comfortable because he knows that he's not getting replaced. So what do? You bring in a kicker, for a Canadian kicker that averaged 53-yard field goals and just never got signed. So Jake Elliott, I guess, won that competition. I don't know. But the Eagles aren't probably going to change kickers. Who knows? Because I think it's ridiculous he came and kick a 20-something yarder, because you kick that field goal and make a 2-point conversion that we did miss. Could have a different ball game right now, a more comfortable ball game right now. But offensively, it was very up and down, more down than up till the end. Obviously, the start to the middle of the fourth quarter. This team started off probably the best since the opener. Obviously, against the Washington football team, first game of the season. I thought they were moving Deshaun Jackson around the field well. They were incorporating him into this offense very well. And they were getting away with it, and it was good. I was seeing a little bit of diversity and, in the play calling, at least for a little bit. And then we kind of went back to our old ways of Carson Wentz being inaccurate, throwing the ball, wherever he wants to throw it. The runs weren't there, 2-3 yard runs. I mean, the blocking was horrendous. Sua Opeta, that we brought up from practice squad, did not play well whatsoever. It was just really bad. It wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. And the thing that probably made me so mad at one point is Carson Wentz was doing way too much. And you know what? It's probably some of these plays that they're doing, because when Wentz gets, some of these guys aren't even doing some slants or whatnot. I mean, I saw like everybody almost doing the same route, just going upfield 10 yards, 15 yards. And by the time that happens, Carson Wentz is getting chased. The play can't develop. Some of these plays came and developed because this offensive line is hurt and he can't hold it there for a long time. So when he went backwards 15 yards, came around, almost getting sacked, throws the ball across the field 30 yards, which just a dumb move to do that. I just didn't think it was the right move to do that. I mean, he almost took, you shouldn't be moving back 15 yards. I know you want to try to not get tackled, and he wants to try to make this big play, but sometimes you got to throw the ball out. Or maybe he was trying to throw the ball out. I have no idea, but Travis Fulgham actually almost had that catch, but it could have been real ugly. That could have got picked off pretty easily. Okay, could have got picked off pretty easily, so you got to be careful with that. Like I said, offensive line, Sua Opeta had a really bad day. Jordan Mailata had some trouble, but it wasn't. Jordan Mailata's been playing solid regardless. I thought the rest of the O-line, did all right. Nate Herbig, they showed some clips of Nate Herbig at right guard, and he was kind of getting beat. Not really getting beat. He was just getting pushed back. But Carson was holding on to the ball way too long, and I can't blame Nate Herbig. He held his block for 3-4 seconds. I mean, how much longer he has to hold a block for, I don't know. Between Carson makes a move there, I have no idea. Okay, so 2-point conversions, missed opportunity. You're making certain things seem very easy to defend. Like you put Jalen Hurts into the game. What do you think you're going to do with the ball? What do defenses think you're doing with it? Obviously, Jalen Hurts has only thrown maybe one pass with the Eagles so far, but other than that, that's pretty much about it. If Jalen Hurts is in the game, he's going to do a read option to the left, the right, or just find that open space. You kind of just made it obvious. You got to do different things with Jalen Hurts. You can't do the same thing every time. You can't do it. And then you put Carson Wentz as a wide receiver, so no one's going to care what he does. No one's going to care. Someone will kind of cover him, but no one's really making a big deal out of him being on the field, because what is Carson Wentz going to do? Honestly, what is he going to do? And then the last thing is that, Carson Wentz, look, I'd rather him try to get yards, when he doesn't see anything. Carson has been the last thing we kind of want this year is Carson Wentz to put his body in a bad situation where he's just going to scramble. If he doesn't find nothing, he's just going to scramble. He had that 40-yard run, last week against the Ravens, which I was like kind of stunned. He actually got 40 yards out of that run. And got as many yards as possible. And then this game, he just tried to get as many yards as possible, scrambling, doing whatever he had to do. Okay, he fumbled on the 2-point conversion. It was 3rd and 1, but it seemed like it was 3rd and 1.5 because they did a QB sneak on 3rd and 1 that seemed a lot longer to get yards. It wasn't on the line. It wasn't 3rd and inches. It was 3rd and 1.5 pretty much. So it seemed like a big reach just to do that QB sneak. But he's just got to be careful. Like I said, he fumbled on the 2-point conversion down there. I'm just saying to myself, why are you putting your quarterback in a situation like this? You did this last week. You lost the game against the Ravens. You lost against the Ravens and you could have tied the game up because you just did a read option with Carson Wentz in the red zone. They were at the red zone 5 times and couldn't get anything done at all. Like, it was just really sad that Doug couldn't really do anything. And to the point where he was throwing balls in the back of the end zone, like Carson was just lobbing them up, like someone was just going to come and grab it. Like, they were very inaccurate. It wasn't good. And then we get to the goal line another time, red zone another time, and he just tells Carson just to run the ball in. And he still has a lot of guys he has to go around. Like, it's not going to be easy just to run in there. He's getting trampled. He barely even gets to the goal line to get that touchdown. And it's just like, Doug can't put up any other plays. There's no plays you're writing up. Like, that's it. It's either Carson runs or if we can't throw it, it's like he just gives up and just tells Carson to run it in the end zone. I have no idea. It's not working. It didn't work. 5 trips to the red zone and you still just couldn't do anything. I mean, it's really embarrassing. Really embarrassing. But, Carson came up clutch in the 4th quarter. The offense got on a roll. John Hightower had the long reception. And you know what? Tight end Richard Rodgers, I got to say, Richard Rodgers actually, he played pretty well. I got to say, I didn't think these tight ends would do anything this game. I figured maybe they were going to be out of this game. They weren't going to be a big thing with this game, maybe. But Richard Rodgers, I got to say, when we had him last time on this roster, he was mostly the dirty blocker. He was doing all the dirty work pretty much. And then he probably had the Brent Selleck most of the work when he was the 3rd string tight end for this team. But Richard Rodgers, he is a veteran, and, he's played plenty of games. He's played with great quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers for Green Bay, and he's got a lot. He knows what he's doing, and he got open. He's worked out a lot and done some good things. He had a couple good receptions. He had a great game, I have to say. I was very impressed with Richard Rodgers. Obviously, they tried throwing that ball to Hakeem Butler on a 4th down play. Unfortunately, you're throwing to a player that he has no reception on this team yet. Obviously, Doug is not afraid to give these new guys a chance. It doesn't mind to put these guys in, throwing these guys in the fire and putting them in sticky situations. Like Hakeem Butler was in a sticky situation and a very important situation, and you're relying on a guy that hasn't had one reception with the Eagles whatsoever. So what do you do now? So I don't know. So they failed on that. It should have been a PI call. I thought the referees were kind of being too soft on some of these guys. I thought, going to this defense, I thought the defensive line was up and down. Brandon Graham was in the backfield. Obviously, he caused a fumble at the end of the game. But he had pressure all game. Fletcher Cox, did all right. Javon Hargrave is the 6th highest paid defensive tackle. And what has he done this year? Line him up next to Fletcher Cox and see what happens. What is going on with Javon Hargrave? Is he still hurt? Is something going on? I have no idea. Just another bad contract because now you're stuck with him. You're stuck with Javon Hargrave now. I mean, I see definitely pressure, but it seems like one of them should be getting free pretty damn easily. I mean, I've seen Javon Hargrave play with the Steelers. I've seen what he could do. I just don't see it formatting into a new team right now. I just don't get it at all. I think Josh Sweat has gotten better every single game. He had a couple good tackles. He didn't do crazy this game, but overall, Josh Sweat has been a good player and has been very productive for us. Derek Barnett, what happened to him? I have no idea. Derek Barnett, I'm not a fan of picking up his option. I'm not a fan of how it's looking right now for Derek Barnett because there's no way I'm paying this guy if he's not producing anything. Derek Barnett is just... He's just fallen off between all these injuries. He's been quiet. He just hasn't been much of anything, really. For a first-round pick, he's playing like he's a 3rd, 4th-round pick right now. He's not playing like a first-round pick. That's why. It's like, That's what I'm saying. This guy doesn't deserve top defensive end money. It's not going to happen. Then you go to the linebackers, and obviously you have TJ Edwards hurt right now. Duke Riley made some good plays here and there. I thought Alex Singleton is the best linebacker that has progressed so far. Obviously, Sean Bradley is used in situational football, goal line, stuff like that. Davion Taylor barely gets a chance. He made tackles. I mean, Davion Taylor gets tackles on special teams all the time. Always see his name, always see him around the ball. Alex Singleton, pretty much blitzing very well, getting into blowing up Devontae Freeman and then putting Devontae Freeman into Daniel Jones's legs. I thought it was fantastic. Alex Singleton has really come up. He's had a pick 6 in that 49ers game. He's made some good tackles, become a good blitzer. Alex Singleton has done actually a pretty good job, not going to lie. I'm not a fan of some of these other linebackers, obviously. Like, Duke Riley's been very up and down all year, hasn't been consistent whatsoever. But when he plays well, he plays well. TJ Edwards is hurt. He will be coming back next week. I'm hoping they keep Alex Singleton and TJ Edwards in the game for this week. I hope they keep those two guys out there. That's my plan against the Cowboys, keeping TJ Edwards as your one, Alex Singleton as your one, TJ Edwards as your two. Nathan Gary, he actually had a good game, surprisingly. And you know what? He's been how much I don't know if Jim Schwartz is keeping him in the game out of spite. I have no idea. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? Nathan Gary, I think, had a one-arm tackle or tried to tackle the running back. It was, I think it was Gallman was going upfield, and he tried to tackle him. He missed it. But he had a sack and a couple good tackles. So, I mean, he had a good game, whatever. Just had too many crucial plays he has given up for us, and that's where it is. I don't know if Jim Schwartz is doing this on purpose to say, hey, look, Howie, thanks for giving me linebackers. Appreciate it, bro. I don't know what he's saying at this point. Nicole Roby-Coleman didn't play well, hasn't played well. I don't know if he's actually playing to his full potential, guys, or maybe he's just washed. I have no idea. His coverage is very soft. He's getting beat. Probably got him a few years too late, honestly. I have no idea at this point. Jalen Mills, obviously, kind of going back. He was switching around a little bit. Will Parks, he's still getting used to playing right now. Will Parks is in there. Didn't really have a good game either. Rodney McLeod had an okay game. I thought Darius Slayton did pretty well. Obviously, that touchdown in the end zone to Slayton, the two receivers were crossing each other in the red zone and in the end zone, and they did that on purpose so Darius Slay wouldn't have full coverage on him. So both the corners kind of had to go around each other to cover these guys, and that pretty much made an easy touchdown. So it really wasn't Slay's fault on that. There's traffic. What are you going to do? There's only so much you could do with it. So Crevon LeBlanc gave up the touchdown to Tate that looked very easy. His size, he's just got to play more sticky on that and get his hands up. Then you talk about these receivers. Travis Fulgham, didn't get a pass till the end of the game. Till he got targeted. He got targeted four times in the first half, but they were bad passes, except that end zone one that he probably should have caught. But it is what it is. John Hightower did a good job. I'm waiting for Rager to come back for all of this to come back. Deshaun Jackson got hurt. He'll be back at the end of the year probably when we need him. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like, I was very, very happy with Boston Scott, this running back room. I was happy with Jason Huntley, another guy, like special teams, getting his first down as a running back as well. Jason Huntley's got a lot of speed. He had a really good camp with the Lions this past training camp. So we picked him up, and, I actually like Jason Huntley. He's pretty quick. I think he's smaller than Boston Scott, but the guy's got quicks in his feet. Very good. But overall, guys, a win is a win at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff they have to clean up. They got to start games. They got to be more consistent in these first, second, third quarters, because you cannot just start playing well in the fourth quarter or in the middle of the fourth quarter. And these passes have to be accurate. If you use Boston Scott, if Miles Sanders comes back next week and you have Boston Scott, don't use Boston Scott the same way you use Miles Sanders. Use him in another way, because because Boston Scott was only used this way because Miles Sanders wasn't here. Boston Scott, all Boston Scott's been is like a bruiser back going up the middle. Other than that, he hasn't done much of anything because the Eagles are not throwing to him in the backfield. They're not throwing to him as a wide receiver. They're not putting him in situations like that. So they need to start using Boston Scott a little bit more. Get more out of your running back room than just Miles Sanders. Get Boston Scott out there to do different things instead of just running him up the middle for no reason and getting nothing out of it. So, but it actually worked this time. You know, it was all on Boston Scott, and you know what? It is what it is. I actually liked it I enjoyed it. So I think this game, you know, it was an ugly game, ugly win, but there's stuff they have to clean up, and they know they have to clean it up. And Doug's got to get better with this play calling because you're not looking good right now. You're not getting this win. It's a win, but you're not. It's still not good. You're still not looking good right now. You got 2 wins under your belt right now, finally, and it is what it is. Other than that, guys, I'm just ranting about this game. I know it's been a long video, so I'm going to stop it here. Other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. Look for probably a live stream tonight, late tonight. I will be around. I will see you guys later. Shake Squad up. Fly, fly. Peace out, guys. Peace.